Hello everyone, this is Milan, and in this video I wanna take you through on my mental framework about how I go when I overeat or when I'm off my plan, basically. So the thing is that in the past weekend I cheated on my diet, on my prep diet, and I wanna talk about what plays through in my head at this moment when I'm cheating or overeating, and what you should be considering when you are overeating, because we are people, so we're gonna sleep. And if you're in a competition prep, then you shouldn't sleep because that's your competition, so you have a goal ahead of you. But if you're just a normal person and you just want to diet for summer, then it's totally okay to sleep one or a few times. But now, so I talked a lot about the mental framework, how I stay on my diet, but I want to talk about going off your diet for something. So the story was that I was out with my friends and basically I just slipped on my diet. I wasn't planning for it. I was drinking a little bit and I was just fucking hungry, bro. And as you know, I do keto and I slipped off obviously from keto because no one has any keto shit at home. So basically I just slipped off and started eating like a fucking maniac. So yeah, but what playing through my head at this moment? So okay, I was eating, I overate at Saturday evening, so at weekend. The thing is that it's not a binary question that you overeat or not overeat, because it's more like a slide. So you overeat by how much? By a few hundred calories, by a few thousand calories. It's not just about how you ate over, because if you think about it like that you overate and that's it, then you will justify eating more and more and more and more because you already overate. But if you think about it like I just overate with 200 calories, it's totally okay. I'm gonna subtract it from tomorrow, and that's it. But if you think like it, I already overate with 200 calories, so I might just go and eat another 1,000, then it's not gonna be happening that you will subtract 1,200 calories from previous day. So overeating is not a problem unless you are thinking about it as a binary question. And a lot of things in life is similar to this. It's not a binary question, it's more like a spectrum. So you can overeat by 200 calories, which is totally fine, or you can overeat by 5,000 calories. It's a spectrum. And yeah, the answer for both of it is yes, you overeat. But it has a big fucking difference if you overeat with 200 calories or 2,000 calories. It's two separate things you need to consider. So it's not a binary question, a yes or no question. And this is the mental framework I use at this kind of moments, that I just want to minimize the damage as I do for myself, because it will happen with all of us, that we have an episode or that we have something that is just fucks with our mind and you will overeat a little bit, and that's totally fine. I say that it's totally fine to overeat until you are on your plan 95% of the times. So if you sleep like one night in every month or one night in every 2 weeks, that's most of the times that's fine, unless if you are thinking about it as a binary question. Because let's say that you are slipped off from your diet with a 500 calorie surplus in a 2-week period. So let's say you dieted for 2 weeks with a 300 calorie, let's be conservative, 300 calorie deficit daily. That's meaning that you have 4,200 calories in a deficit in that 2 weeks, and you slept off at one day with 500 calories. So that's meaning that you have 3,700 deficit left in those 2 weeks. So basically you lost a pound in those 2 weeks. It doesn't matter that you slept with 500. But if you think about it as a binary question and you sleep off your diet with 500, and then you say, okay, fuck it, then let's go and binge like a motherfucker. And you start eating and you overeat with 3,000 calories. You just ate a Ben & Jerry, you just ate something in dessert and shit like that. And you are already in a 3,000 calorie surplus. Then, obviously, your 4,300 calories that you are in a deficit, or then it became 1,300. So you see the difference? 1,300 calories over 2 weeks, or 3,700 calories over 2 weeks. So it's totally fine to sleep at your diet, but just try to minimize the damage. As well as it's like your training. It's totally fine to get off from a training plan or sleep off from one day. Just try to minimize the damage. Always try to minimize the damage. And the thing is that why I think the best way is to try to stay on your diet and on your training plan as much as possible, because it's a habit. So once you are established a really great habit with food, with exercise routines, then it will get really fucking hard to break it. And the best way to break a habit, as we talked about it a million times, is to skip it. And yeah, one day is totally fine. As I said, one day is fine, but to skip 2, 3, 4 days in a row, and you are slipped off from your habit. So that's what you need to consider. And as I said, in terms of habits, it's also a spectrum. So let's say you are trying to implement the reading habit. Now, if you are, let's say you said that you will read 10 pages a day, and one day you don't have enough time to read 10 pages because let's say it took you 30 minutes to read 10 pages. But you say that, okay, then I'm gonna read just 2 to establish still the habit. Then it's way better than reading nothing. This is also with food. You know that you have, for example, you maybe sleep on your diet. It's totally fine, but just sleep as little as possible. Okay? So this is what I try to tell you in this video, that there are a lot of things in diet and in training. It's not just a binary question. It's not just a binary question that you was at the gym today, or you trained today, or it's basically you could ask, you trained today, yes or no? Yeah, it's kind of true, but if you trained today, it was hard training or it was just a shitty workout. So it's not that simple. Or if you're not trained today, you had a busy day where you ran basically everywhere and you just rushed to a lot of places and you burned calories through that basically. So you can think about it much more differently when you are implementing this kind of spectrum thinking and not just in binary yes or no's. So this framework is a very useful, in my opinion, to implement this in your thinking and try to look at it differently, in a different perspective. So if you sleep on your diet, it's totally okay. If you sleep on your training, it's totally okay. If you sleep on one of your habits, it's totally okay, until you try to minimize the damage as much as possible. So sleeping on your diet with 200 calories or 2,000 calories, it's a completely different ballgame. Okay, so this is a mental framework I think you should be considering implementing in your life, because it's a really great one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was more mindset stuff. I really like them. really like mindset stuff. And I hope you liked and enjoyed this video as well and learned at least something. And yeah, we are going to get into more technical details. If you want to, just please comment down below what you want to see next. Leave a like if you find it helpful, and think about spectrums, not in yes or no's.